Hello, this is Miss Pie again, and in this video I'm going to walk you through getting three cube root functions and graphing them. So to begin with, let's go ahead and just do the basic cube root function. And you push Control and then this little caret top here, and that gives you uh, the root where you can change the number. And in this case, we're going to do a cube root. And I just want to show you what the basic cube root function looks like. It looks like this line here. And I want to use it up here. And so I need to take the center here and I want to move it 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5 units to the right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 units up. Okay, so that's what I want to do first. And to get it to move to the right, I'm going to do not a plus, I'm going to do a minus. We said 3.5, and then I'm going to go outside of the radical and do +4. And this is just a rough estimate of where I think I want to have it. And so let's put it up there first. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of in the right area, but it's a little bit too wide here. This curve, it doesn't quite match up here, and neither does it match up down here. So I need to shrink it vertically. So to do that, I'm going to multiply. I'm going to go to the very front. Now notice I'm not up here with my root. I'm all the way out front, and I'm just going to multiply by a number that's between 0 and 1. So to start off with, let's multiply by 0.5. Okay, and it looks like it's a little bit too squished. I don't want it squished that much, so maybe try 0.75. And you can see as I'm going through this, I'm just tweaking the formula just a little bit. I'm changing these numbers. I might have to change these numbers. So I'm looking at this, and one thing that you should see is that this curve doesn't quite match the detail work on the wing, but it does look pretty close. Okay, I think if I just move this up a little bit more, it'll match a little bit better. So um, one thing that I should tell you about your cube roots is that there's a lot of different places to use it, but it may not match perfectly. So let's look at this, and when the line is thin, it doesn't match very well, but when you make the line thicker, it does match. So let's go ahead and make that line thicker. I'm going to go to Menu and Actions and Attributes, and we want to change this one. We just want to make it thicker. All right. So, and you can see the curve doesn't match perfectly, but I think it matches pretty good for the detail that I'm going to want. And obviously, I need to stop this here or excuse me, I need to start it here and stop it right here. So let's see, maybe 2.5, maybe. Let's see, 2.5, and then maybe up here around 5. So let's try those. And guys, whenever you do these stopping and starting points, it's gonna be a trial and error. Start off with what you think it'll be, and I said I thought it would be starting at 2.5, and then do the less than or equal to x, and less than or equal to I want to say I said 5. Let me see how that looks. All right, so it looks pretty good. It looks really good right here. I ended it perfectly here. This one, if I wanted to extend it, it would probably look good if I did it. Go ahead and extend that just a little bit more. So maybe instead of 5, maybe I need to let's do maybe 5.25. I don't want to go full half unit more. That looks perfect. Now, notice that my detail work here is orange. I could change this to orange, or I could change this to match. It's really up to me on what kind of color scheme I want for the detail work. I could also maybe do gray, but I think I actually like it better with brown. So I think I'm going to change this color to brown instead of having it orange. Okay, so that I just changed the detail work to brown. All right, now on the square root, the cube root, excuse me, I have this little shape, and earlier when I was experimenting with this, I wanted to use a square root right here for this part of the wing, but I think I could never, on the square root, I could never get it to quite fit. But I think I could use a cube root and it would fit much better. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this part of the wing with the cube root. Let me hide this formula real quick, and then I'm going to pull up another cube root format. Okay, and so I just want this part right here. And notice with the square root, it kind of stops right here, but sometimes you just need a little bit longer section that kind of goes straight down, and the cube root is a good option because you can get it extended just a little bit longer and you can still stop it where you want it. All right, so this is what I'm looking for. And with this one, it looks like it needs to go over, let me move that, over 4 and up, let's see, about 1.5. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's move it to the right 4, so -4, and then up 1.5. And it looks good, but I think this is a little bit wider again. I need to do a vertical compression, not nearly as much as I did last time. So I'm going to try, I think last time we did 0.75. Let's try 0.8 and see how that goes. That is an excellent fit. Do you see how well that fits? Okay. Let's go ahead and set our limits. So I want it to stop somewhere around here and start. I want it to start here and stop here. Remember, the leftmost is your starting point, the rightmost is your ending point. So let's do this such as line, and then let me see, we'll probably want it to start around 4 is less than or equal to x, and less than or equal to maybe about 6.5, I think. I'm looking at the tick marks or the grid lines to see how far we got it. Does that look good? That looks really good. That looks awesome. I am so good at this. Wow. Sometimes I even impress myself. All right, let's go ahead and do the last one. I'm going to wait to change this, the color and the thickness and everything until I get this other one done. So last cube root one I want to do is this section of the wing right here. And I'm going to use a different part of the cube root. So let's go ahead and get up our basic thing. Now I know I'm obviously going to need to move it over. I'm probably going to need to move it over to the right about 9. So I'm going to just do x minus 9. And then I also know I'm going to move it up some, maybe 5, maybe 5.5. Let's see how that goes. All right, so as you can see, it's this part of the cube root that I want to use this time. And I didn't move it over quite enough. I think I need to move it over maybe another half a unit. So instead of moving it over 9, we're going to do 9.5. Let's see how that goes. Oh, that is perfect. Okay. And then I need to go ahead and limit this. And, I can't see where I want to limit it with that there. So looks like, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, maybe 7.25, and then that's probably about 9.5 up there. So let's see. Let's do control equals, pull up the such as line. I think I said 7.25, right? Is less than or equal to x, and that's less than or equal to 9.5, I believe, is what we said. Let's see how that looks. All right, that looks really good. So as you can see, the cube root function, there's a lot of different places and different types of curves and lines that you can get. You can get kind of this S shape here, or you can just use part of it and get these shapes. All right, so one thing I did want to point out is sometimes when you know the equations and you know you're going to do several equations back to back, you can do several of them, and then after you get them done, go and change the attributes of all of them at the same time, without having to keep going back to the menu and actions and all that fun stuff. All right, and then you can do the same thing with the color. And I think, hold on, I think you can actually double click on these. And yeah, see how it says multi-select? Okay, so now if I go and change the colors, it'll change both colors at the same time. Oh, hold on, how did I do that? There we go. Let's see, 5. Dang it, it didn't do it this time. Oh well. I know that I've done it in the past, I just can't remember how. And then push escape. All right, so as you can see, as I'm going through these videos, or excuse me, as you're going through these videos, you can see how I'm doing more and more different parts of the bird. We're getting more and more things done. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video on how to graph the cube root functions. They are really easy and they're very versatile.